Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm gonna go through my office makeup routine. The goal is always to have my skin looking perfected, but still skin-like, not too done up, but still professional and like I'm ready to be in the office to work. Ideally, I'd film this video right before I actually go into the office, but I'm always in such a rush, so I feel like that was just not an option. So today I just recreated the look for you guys at home. Also, I'm so sorry for missing my upload last week. I was in Bali. I was just not very prepared, honestly, so I didn't have any videos scheduled to go up while I was gone, but I'm now back on my filming schedule, so hopefully I can get more videos up for you consistently in the next few weeks. And definitely let me know if you have any video requests for videos that you want to see from me soon. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get into the tutorial. You guys should know this by now, but the first thing I do is always prep my skin. Today I'm using the Vive Skin Nova Instant Radiance Primer. This is one that I also really like and I've used a ton of in the past. I actually recently took it out because I have my Danessa Myricks one all packed up in my travel makeup bag because I'm planning on filming a video all about everything that I packed with me for my Bali trip, well, makeup wise. So I didn't really take it out of the bag yet, and instead I've been using this priming serum. I would say the formula of this primer versus the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin one that I love is that this feels a little bit more gel-like, whereas the Danessa Myricks one just melts into the skin super quickly because it's a little bit more of a thinner formula. Now that my skin is all hydrated and prepped, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a skin tint slash foundation. The one I'm using today is the Victoria Beckham Foundation Drops. The shade that I got is unfortunately a little bit dark for me, even for my more tan summer shade. So I use the tiniest amount of this to warm up my skin and add a little bit of coverage. I think if I wanted to use this more as like a medium coverage foundation, I would have to purchase a shade or two lighter. The one that I have is in the shade 5, but I find that if I sheer it out with my foundation brush and just apply a little bit, I can still work around it. And just looking at the formula itself, I really like it because it is quite hydrating and quite glowy, but it's not to the point where it feels like my skin is sticky or that there's like a thick layer on my skin. It just really helps to even everything out, and I love the natural finish. I always run whatever's left just on my neck, especially since this shade is a little bit dark for me. My neck is usually the palest part of my body, so I just like to add a little bit there. Next, we're gonna go on to some bronzer. The bronzer I've been using is the CL Sculpt and Protect in the shade Medium. I've been using a big stipple brush and I'll just go back and forth on the product like this just to pick up a nice amount right on the ends of the bristles, and then I buff this into my skin. I'm not really going for a super contoured look. I just want to add more of that bronzy look, like that. And I find that a really loose, big brush like this just does the trick, so. And with whatever's left, I always run it on my nose, you guys know that, and my chin. It just helps to create a little bit more of a uniform look. It makes your bronzer look less like makeup and more like your skin is actually just glowing and bronzy. Now for blush today, I'm gonna be using 2 liquid blushes. The first one I'll use is the Vive Sunset Blush Balm in the shade Sorbet. I believe this is one of their new blush shades. I really like this formula. I actually haven't used it in a while. It creates a very light watercolor look on the cheeks, which is beautiful. You can definitely build it up to more of a high impact blush if you want, but obviously for the office, I don't need anything too crazy. So I'm just starting with one thin layer of this liquid blush all over my cheeks and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And then now I'll go in with the lighter liquid blush. I would say this is similar to a transition blush. I'm just kind of putting it in between where I would put my concealer and where I'm putting my blush. And I'll just blend this out with the same brush because this way the colors will all blend together a little bit more seamlessly. And for blush shades that are a little more on the brighter side, I feel like adding a transition blush or just by mixing a little bit of concealer in with the liquid blush, you will just get a nice soft transition from your concealer to your brighter blush, and it just makes the whole effect a little bit more natural. Speaking of concealer, I'm now just going to add the tiniest bit in the darkest part of my eyes, like right there. I actually don't mind the look of my dark under eyes for my office makeup. I feel like it can definitely be part of the makeup look. I'm not bringing it all the way to my lower lash line. I'm just kind of keeping the natural shadow that I have there and instead just covering up the darkness that's a little further away from my eye. Now I'm going in with my concealer pencil. This is an essential step in all of my makeup routines, and I am currently breaking out a little. I think it's a combination of the diet that I had when I was in Bali, the amount that I was drinking. I'm not normally a drinker, but we did have some drinks because obviously it's a wedding, and I feel like it's reflecting on my skin a little bit. So I have a few breakouts on my cheeks, but that's okay. This is why we have makeup, so we can just make everything look a little bit better. Now I'm gonna go in with powder. I'm not too married to any specific powder, just something that's going to help control the shine, but also not make me look too flat and matte. At the office I do have a powder compact that sometimes I'll touch up with throughout the day if my skin is getting too shiny, or if I have dinner plans after work and I just want my makeup to look a little bit less shiny. So I'll usually use that, but for most days I'll just, you know, let my skin shine and just glow. Now that we're on to the brows, like I said, I still have my travel makeup bag packed with most of my everyday essentials. So I actually grabbed a new brow pencil to start using. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil in the shade 4. I was sent this in a PR package. I knew that one day I would maybe want to switch up my brow routine, and I kind of forgot how nice it is to have a brow pencil with such a fine tip, because then you can really go in and create hair-like strokes like this. And it almost creates a softer, more fluffy brow, because normally with my Judy Doll brow pencil, it's so thick as a pencil that it almost just adds a hazy block of color. I wouldn't say it's like block brows, but it definitely is hard to be precise with that kind of applicator. So it's nice having a small brow pencil like this for a change. Just like that. And then I'll just lightly brush through my brows. I don't want to go too hard because then it might just erase everything that I've drawn on. Next, I'm gonna add a little bit of brow gel. I know this is also very shocking. This is the Gimme Brow from Benefit, one of my holy grails from a couple of years ago. I used to use just this brow gel, nothing else. Maybe I should try that again. I feel like it gives a more effortless brow look. I feel like it just keeps my brow hairs super neat and adds a slight tint of color. Now we're moving on to the eyes. I definitely skip eyeshadow on most office days just because it's not necessary. Sometimes if I have dinner plans after work, then maybe I'll add a little bit of an eyeshadow. But even then, it's just a very natural light brown because I don't want to look too done up, you know? I'm just curling my eyelashes with my heated eyelash curler. And then again, mascara is optional, but today I will put it on for the sake of the video. I'm just gonna add the lightest coat just so I get some lash definition. And then for the lips, I've been using this CoverGirl Outlast lip stain a lot. This is in the shade Shuggy Girl. It's just a really pretty My Lips But Better kind of pink, and I just dot it on my lips. And then I just smush my lips together and it just creates a very even stain. I just grabbed this from my handbag right there, which is what I use for the office. But this is the Hourglass Phantom Blur Lip Balm, I believe. And this is the shade Whisper. And it just gives me this beautiful, soft, blurry lip look on top of the lip stain. So I can just top this up throughout the day if I want a little bit more color. Aria just came to join us. And yeah, this is the finished makeup look that I'll do for the office. Obviously the products will sometimes change here and there, but this is overall the routine that I'll do. I like when my skin looks quite fresh, but still perfected. I don't do too much blush or contour or highlighter because I just want everything to look very effortless. And that's pretty much all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!